Hello everyone, this is the first video on a video series meant to introduce Blender to beginners. In this video we're going to be covering downloading it, navigating around Blender, and just the basic tools of everything. And in the end of each video I plan to put up a guide or like notes on what we took in that specific video. So yeah, that'll be at the end. Let's get into it. So here I'm just going to blender.org and following the instructions to download Blender. I downloaded Apple Silicon because of my computer chip. You can check what computer chip yours corresponds to, or you can just download the one that's recommended on your laptop. And yeah, I'm just speeding this part up until you can open Blender, and we'll get into it. Okay, so now that you open up Blender, you can click away on that box, it will just go. I'm going to give you a quick introduction as to how the layout works. That's the scene collection, just shows everything that's on your scene, the camera, the cube, and the light. Below that, there's the cube properties, where it's located, how much it's rotated, the scaling of it. It's more obvious when we change it, and the material, the color, and all of that stuff. And below, the animation time frame thing. And on the left, we've got the move, rotate, and scale tools, which will be pretty useful as well. Okay, so a bit about how to navigate the scene in Blender. You can use your touchpad or your mouse. With the middle button of the mouse, you can roll around, rotate around the scene like that. Or you can just rotate the wheel and zoom in or out. Or if you press Shift and the middle button, you can pan around the scene like that. With the touchpad, on Mac, you can use your two fingers, which is substitute for the middle button of the mouse, and you can rotate around, or shift two fingers, or just zoom in or out with your fingers on the touchpad. Okay, so while you're in object mode and the object is selected, you can press G, R, or S in order to move, rotate, or scale. And I recommend you guys to keep these shortcuts in mind because it will help you. So G does this, S is going to scale, and then R is just going to rotate. But as you can see, they're not very precise because you can't really control where it goes. So I'm just going to Command Z and get it back to where it was originally, and you can see it's all resetted over here. And also you can check the scaling or the rotation over here as well. Okay, in order to get it more precisely, you can click these and it will move it according to the axis that you decide on, and you can rotate it. You can just be more precise in general, right? You can scale it like that. Another option, if you want to scale it more precisely, is, for example, especially if you're working with a reference in the background, like if you're working with a reference over here, right? You can press the keypad, the number pad, like for example 1, which will bring us to the front orthographic view of the box or the cube. And here, if you try to scale it in any sort of way, it will strictly be on that axis, and there is no room for error over here. You can try other numbers on the keypad to see what it does, and it just gives you various different perspectives on it, which is going to be especially useful when you are working with references and you're trying to model that way. Okay, so till now we've strictly worked in object mode, and now we're on to going to edit mode, which you can either go from this drop down or you can go to modeling. So in edit mode there is a difference. You can actually edit the object and its shape and modify how the object looks, and how you do that is basically it allows you to select the faces or the edges or the vertices. And using the shortcuts we've just previously mentioned, you can press G and you can just edit these vertices as you would like it to be. And you can also, for example, select a face. You can scale that face, or you can select a face and rotate it, all of that sort of thing. And basically that's what you do in edit mode. You edit the object itself. Okay, I'll be showing you really quickly a bunch of other things you can do in edit mode. 3 things. Extruding. I'll select a face, press E, and then you can extrude like that. Okay, press E, extrude. You can do that sort of thing. There's also a button for it over here. Okay, if you want to add subdivisions onto your cube, you can press Command R, hover over your cube, and you'll see this, and you can just slide along. Or if you want it to be right in the middle, you can Command R, see it in the middle, click twice, and it will be right in the middle. This is useful for when you want to extrude a certain portion of the cube, for example. You know, you can extrude that certain portion, right? Okay, on the left bar, you can also see the loop cut button, which does the same exact thing. We just learned the shortcut previously. And if you also press the bevel button, which is the last thing I want to be teaching you in this video, you can edge select and then click the bevel button, pull on that knob, and you will get some sort of like a smoother surface. And if you press on that drop down thing on the bottom left, you can increase the number of segments, which will make your edge smoother, and that's how we achieve a smoother look.